Morning, guys. Let's just take a look. Actually, we still got that cough hanging on me. Right, so today is the 30th of November. It is Tuesday, one day away from officially hitting December, when everybody will be getting their Christmas trees up. This year's flown over, all being what's been going on in the world. Yeah, so yesterday I did a video, and that's probably been uploaded a little bit later than usual. Because trading for me personally starts to come to an end at the beginning of December, I thought I would mix it up a little bit and look into an area. I've been trading for now coming up to 5 years, okay? And in them 5 years, had many ups and downs. And just in this last year, I've been able to get sorted and do this on a full-time basis sort of thing, okay? So in those 5 years, not once have I used a thing called an ETA. Now, what's an ETA? ETA is an expert advisor. There's many of them in many shapes, ways and forms, okay? However, you can never let a computer, an ETA, a robot, sort of trade for you full time and expect to be profitable. It's a bit of a taboo area and not to do. Can you be profitable using them? I don't know. That's the thing that I'm trying on this week of or in the month of December, most certainly testing this heavily. Okay, so again, all this is done via demo. There may be 1 or 2 times where I try this on a very small, minimal live account just to see where we are. And today I'm testing an upgraded version of what I was using yesterday. This one's called a Grid Pro. And what I'll do is I'm just going to flip over to a video I've done on my mobile. Hopefully I can do a cutscene and put that onto here now, and this will explain the process of what it is. So I'll go over to that video now. Welcome back. Welcome back. I think I'm back anyway. Let's see if I'm getting that right. See if I can get this cutscene right, because I'm still new to getting all these things correct. Okay, so, right. Let's take a look. Hopefully I'm getting this right and you're seeing this on the footage now. So, speaking about ETAs, this is one that obviously I've looked into. I'm not going to be trading live with these. This is just something I'm doing over the months of the Christmas months to see if they actually work or not, and if you can implement some sort of structure. The ETAs will never work on their own. You've always got to have an element of manual inside of it. But you can see on here, we've got money management built into this. So it's going to let you have a trading time. It's telling you spread at any time. I've got a trailing stop on this, so if I'm in profit, there'll be a trailing stop. There's a minimum stop level. It's telling me a target close. I want about $100. If we can hit that target, it just closes off itself. From there, it's telling you onto a control center. It's giving you a red and green status on this because it is Euro USD. If you look around about here, it's telling us a trend information is on the up. So that's what it's telling us on there. All on the 1 hour, half hour and 15 minute, the trend is on the up. And I think that's based upon Heiken Ashi, which is, it's like a smoothed out candle. It's like a trend, if that makes sense. It's a trend candle. From there underneath, you've got start the ETA, reset the ETA, delete all your pending orders. So it's one button touch control. Everything's ready to use on here. And as you can see, if we go on here, you'll see that's where we are on the other screen. So the reason I've got that on this screen is simply because it needs Windows to be used. It can't be used via a VPS. So what I've basically done is I use a Mac. So unfortunately, I've got to use this on the laptop to my right so I can get control on that. But the trades will still come live. If we take a look, we'll still come live onto that side. So as you can see, we've got everything set up on the stops. And then on here, I've got parameters of a 0.10 and then going up in 0.02 in steps. And that's where the grids come into play, as you can see on there. So we'll see how this plays out today. Starting balance is 102,201. Okay, we'll see where we are by 3 o'clock. I'm just going to let this run through the day. Welcome back, guys. Hopefully I've been able to edit that correctly and you've seen the interface on my laptop where I just did a quick video. I can't have it running via VPS from my Mac for some strange reason. Not to worry, because again, this is just a test in all fairness. And I'm going to let this run throughout the day. I'm going to share the screen, show you exactly where we are. Head on over to the Windows side. So this is an FTMO challenge, okay, for all those that are wanting to see on this. And I've been using this TMO. I've been using this via the 8 years, okay, over the last week or two. And I've never done a video on it. So I've just thought, can you actually use an 8 year on this and be profitable? Let's take a look. So it's not that one. Let's take a look. Client area. Sign out. Sign in. That's it there. Right. So the metrics on here. This runs out on the 7th of December. Again, I'm not looking to try and pass this. It is only a free trial. However, just take note of this here. The last few days I haven't been trading, so that's why that's been like that. So you can see in here, 5,000 target, there's 2,200. All that has been done via an 8 year. Okay. Now, when I say being done by an 8 year, not 100% true. What I'm aiming to do is put in the 8 year, but me being at the computer and having a manual side of it where I'm looking at what the 8 years producing, and when I can see whatever it is with the charts, the candles, structure, if I'm happy with where the profits are, I'll be closing them out, and then I will let the 8 year predetermine when the entry comes back in. So there's an element of the 8 year working and doing what it needs to do, but then there's an element of manual trading to a certain extent where I'm controlling my emotions on when I exit. Okay. And that is the aim of this sort of test running through the month of December. We'll see where we go with that. So I'm just going to go over to the chart a moment. And I hope this is going to take an interest. Again, it's not something I would do on my trading. To be fair, I've always been a what's the word? I've always been a full-on manual trader, to be fair. So I'm still recording. That's good. I'm just checking my dashboard here, guys. So I just need to share the screen and get my handsome face in that top corner. So we'll do that. Just need to look at something a moment. I'm just looking at a trade I was waiting for to get in on from the other day. We haven't got the flag coming down just yet. That's a longer term trade I'm looking at. So we'll head over to the main area. So this is the game. This is the game side of it. So what we've got the Euro USD. I might put another pair on this as well. And this is basically going to trade out for us between the grids. Now, you've possibly seen the video or the extended of what I've done on this, where I showed you the interface that we've got to use this on. I can't use this directly on the Mac for some strange reason, because something to do with the VPS, because that's what the Parallels is, to be fair. So I've got my Mac side of the computer, but I've got Parallels, which gives me Windows. This has got to be directly straight onto a Windows. However, I do have a laptop and several other screens next to me, so I can still have this in play in conjunction. I just open up another MT4, and whatever happens on that, and I can see that in the control center, I can see here on a bigger picture, okay? So I'm going to choose another pair, or try and do this with another pair. Let's see if we can get this to work. I'm going to go onto my other screen, and we will go with let's take a look. In fact, because he is, I want to see if there's any news on the Forex factory. Yeah, USD, a lot of USD. Now, this will be interesting. I think this may have to be turned off around about 1 o'clock. So we'll run this to 1 o'clock. Right, that's good to know. So let's see if I can get this on the GBP USD. I'm just going to drag this over. In fact, we'll do GBP odd. Just see if I can find it. So I'm going to drag this over. And just bear with me, guys. Just see if I'm just going to see if I can get this to come onto the screen here as well. Over here. 1.02 on a step. Profits. $50. We'll keep the trail and stop off on that. And do I need to change the magic number? Right, so I've got it on there. So if I open up that, if I put GBP odd on there, template, or expire, one-click trading, properties, black, white, bar down, red, red. Click OK, put my handsome face here. Now, if I validate that, hopefully we should see something appear on here. Start 8 here, and then there we go, bang. So there's always a work around something. Now, what should happen when we start getting to these blocks and these orders? We've got a buy stop, and then a sell limit, and then a sell limit, and then a sell limit, and the sell limits go up. So it's you first, from what I can see on this, you start with with a stop, a sell stop coming down, then you've got a buy stop going up. So we'll see how this EA fares out. I've got two pairs running on this. I've got my control center to the left. Again, just remember, guys, we are starting. Let's have a look. Let's have a look. No pad, no pad, no pad. We are starting with 102,201.10. Okay. That's what we started with. So we'll keep that ticker down here. We'll have this running. I'm just going to keep it running up until what time? Let's see I'll see 12:30. I'm going to keep this running to 12:30 because I really do not like having trades open after this sort of time. So we're gonna see how this fares out. So we just double click on the windows. We've got both the windows playing there. And that's it, guys. That's where we are at the moment. We can see where we are with the EA, and we'll see how this works today. I've got a couple of trades to take on my other account, so I'm going to go off and do some trading on that. But this is the test for today. This is the upgraded version of the grade one that I was using just the other day. Yesterday, I had it on a low setting, and I actually had it on a live account, and it produced that produced around about, I think it was $26 profit. So again, minimal. Yeah, I totally agree with that. But again, I'm not here to risk. I'm not here to risk too much. So I just wanted to see that worked. From that, I tried to source the next step up from what that was, and this is what came up on Google. I thought, I'll see if I can get a hold of it. Got a hold of it, and we've got it set up. We'll see where we are, and we'll come back at about 12:30, guys, okay? So I'm just going to pause the video for now, and then we'll be back in a second. Then we'll do an end of day conclusion once we get there, okay? I'll see you in a bit. Hi, guys, so I just thought I would jump on before something activates on this. Now, the one on the left, which is the Euro USD, I've got that set as a trailing stop. So I think if anything sort of activates, I think the trailing stop goes by 15 pips. So if anything comes back, it would sort of stop out. So I've got an element of control on that side of things, if that makes sense. However, I think that's how that works. We'll sure find out. This is a learning process. However, the one on the right, the GPP odd, I haven't got a trailing stop activated on this. I've got this going just as the EA has opened up as. The only thing I've changed on this is obviously I've had to set the parameters with regards to a starting lot size, which has been 0.10. And then if we go onto another side of the grid, it'll step the lot size up by 0.02. So we'll start at 10, go to 12, and then 14, 16. And the highest lot size we can go to is a 0.5 before anything would sort of close out at a loss or either a big win. The other thing to talk about as well, I do have another EA which we spoke about yesterday, which is called an Argo Guardian. Now, we can factor that in on this, and it's a simple process, but I'm not going to put it on this now because I want to see how this produces with just as it is, okay? What you would do is, because we've got the Euro USD and the GPP order, we would open up another window with one of the same pairs, okay? And then you can put in the parameters on the Guardian that you want to risk, let's say, 2% of your account for the day, and then you want to try and gain 3% TP. And what would happen is this EA will be allowed to play itself out. And then from there, as the day progresses, it's either going to do one or two things. It's either going to go hit 3% profit and it's going to go bang, shut everything down, or it's going to bang, 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 tumble all the way down, and it's going to sort of make you lose 2%. But that's what your risk parameter is, and then it's just going to shut everything down from there. So again, 8 years, they're not perfect. They never will be perfect, but having a look in the month of December, I would never trade this way full time. You can never do that. You need to learn the skill set yourself, to be fair, and be able to learn structure. But I'm interested to see what kind of outcome this would bring throughout the month of December. I think it's a good way for me to go, to be fair, to do this, because then I'm not sort of doing my live sessions and risking my money, if that makes sense, because I have to stop trading at some point during the Christmas period. But I will just set up FTMO challenges and use the free accounts, and we can gauge what can happen from there. And as you can see, we've got an entry at the moment. The first one to hit an entry is the Euro USD, and it went in on a buy. We'll see what happens with this. Again, we're straight into drawdown. It's not about falling flat in your face or being successful. This is just me doing what I do best, and that's sharing a journey, sharing an experience, so you don't have to go through the pain of doing it. Okay, that's what Forex Fire is all about. It's about going into the unknown, trying stuff what people haven't done, and from here, if we can add an element of using that 8 year to an element of using a trained eye, I see a trained eye, to using the element of an 8 year to using the element of someone who's had 4.5 to 5 years experience of trading, very rocky road, to be fair, but can we implement one with the other, pair them together, and sort of make trading harmonious between the 8 year and a level of manual side of it. Again, today, based upon what this is, this is a baseline. Okay, this is a heavy baseline. I'm not going to get involved with it too much, to be fair. I'm not going to close out trades manually. I'm going to let the 8 year do what it needs to do based upon the lot sizes and risk I've put in there. We've got on the left, the contender on the left, we've got a trail and stop at 15 pips. On the right, we've got an open-ended. This is my lot size. This is the steps I'm going to take if it reverses, and we'll see where we are. And again, guys, on the bottom, you will see this is the starting block, and you can see already we're down into drawdown at the moment. So we're going to come back a bit later, see where we are. I've got everything set up. I'm going to go and get me a cup of tea, as I always do, and have a biscuit of choice today. Will probably be a timeout. So again, if you're liking the videos that I do on here, I do these because you don't have to go through the pain process. If you're liking the videos, a couple of things, guys. There's a join button underneath. Please hit that join for the price of a cup of coffee. Keep me in my tea and coffee throughout the day. You can come in as a Spark or a fully fledged member as a Fire member. They both have different sort of benefits and perks. The biggest one's the Fire member. You're going to get the full access to everything that we do on here. There's a bigger, wider scope of team that I've built over time. This is a safe haven of trading where we learn together, we trade together, and we win together. And you'll see other places that say that. That's a concept that I brought to the forefront. Okay, guys, and I really do mean that from what I say. We do truly learn together, trade together, and win together. There's no high-end costs to this. Once you get your confidence, your consistency, and then your profitability, which is the other three things I work upon, we can then have a further chat one-on-one and see where we can take this, whether it's helping you with an extended arm or something else that I'm part of, or if you want to go down something like a funded route and having access to certain other steps and methods, we can have that chat, guys. Okay, so at the moment, just to sign off for this morning, it's now 9 a.m. the London Open, so this is going to be interesting to see what happens. A lot of people say Euro USD sort of pushes more on New York. It was around about September I started live sessions and I recorded those. And I traded one pair and a 1 minute scalp. If you haven't seen that video, just go on my YouTube channel and look for the 1 minute scalper. I've got thousands of videos on there. We grew an account by 40%, guys, using a simple method of an order block retracement. Yeah, I found more success trading Euro USD on a morning session than what I've done on New York. I'm not much of a trader on a New York session. I don't sort of like it, to be fair. I'd rather trade first thing in the morning. But hey ho, each to their own. We're now starting to pull back up a bit. So I'm going to sign off, guys. I'm going to pause the video. We'll be back at around about, say, 12:30ish. See if we've grown this account from here and get it any bigger, guys. Okay, so I'll speak to you in a bit. I was just about to set off and do that cup of tea just to show you we've now got two entries on both sides of the fence, Euro USD and GBP ORD, and we're in a little bit of profit. So the journey begins. I'll see you a bit later on, guys. See you a bit later on. Hi, guys. Just thought I'll give you that little more, a bit of an update. Got a cup of tea, biscuits of choice, being greedy of the day. 2 timeout biscuits. So yeah, what I'm going to do, I'm going to go over a cutscene, head you over to there, and what we'll do is I'm going to show you a bit more in depth on what the control panel is, what the money management info display is, where I'm currently at on that. So what you're seeing on here is going to be different to what's on there, simply because I did a video shot on my iPhone, and I'm having to use several different devices to sort of try and edit and produce what I'm doing on here. So this is all new to me. See if we can get this done, see if we can get it put together. At the moment, I can't tell you that we have come down in profit. On the video I'm going to show you, I think we were around $6 or $7 in profit. Again, not touching this, just want to see how it plays out on 2 set parameters of a trailing stop to just an ordinary EES setup. Okay, so we're going to head over to that and we'll be back in a second. So I just thought I would cut to this scene just to show you. We've got the GBP ORD 15 minutes. So the parameters on this money management info display. I've got this which shuts down once we hit $50 of profit on this particular pair. The lot size is a 0.10 and it goes in steps of 0.002. So it'll go 10, 12, 14, 16, you know. So the live 8-year profit and loss as it stands at the moment, $5.69, $5.77. I'm in profit on this trade at the moment as it is. Trading time just stays on always. I'm shutting this down at around about 12, half 12. Total sum, profit and loss is on this, but I think this includes a spread, to be fair, is 5.16. Spreads around about, it's fluctuating around about 5 to 10 pips, to be fair. Trailing stops off on this one. Status, it's trading, and there's one bought. Buying orders, there's one. Total buys of 0.1, sorry. There's 11 buying pending orders, and there's 12 sell pending orders. And the swap for the chart is 0.3. From there, we've got the strategy info control center, Heiken-Ashi status. So this is based upon trend candles. It's on an uptrend, on the trend information right there. I don't know if you can see it. Trend information 1, 30 and 15, all green. I've got control to open and sell positions by one push button. I can delete everything all pending. I can delete everything that's open. And again, that gives me full control. Something I like about this one. So the EA on the Euro USD, we've got $100 and then it's going to close itself off. I've got a trailing stop active on this one, so I'm interested to see how that reacts to this. This one's in profit of $5.20 at the moment. Again, the trend, all on the greens on the way up. This is just telling you the indication of what these mean, okay? green there, all green at the moment. I like this. I like the look of this display, to be fair. I'm not one for 8-year trading, but I like the look of this control panel. From there, we are in profit of around, fluctuating between $7 and $8. Again, going on to my other screen, which is what we're controlling from, or what we're looking at. We've got a starting of 102,201. We are at 102,207. So we're fluctuating and we are in profit at least, okay? So I'm going to hand you back over to where I'm at now. Hi guys, so hopefully you've seen what that video is, and I hope you're sort of enjoying this bit of content. It's something I'm going to be doing and producing throughout the month of December. I'm going to try and use this EA, see if I can find a happy medium balance. Again, I do not sort of, and I've never traded an EA, if I'm honest with you. I just want to see, because we are going into the Christmas months, trading for me, or my live trading for me, has to come to a stop normally in the first week of December. So I thought, why not put this together and trade on demo accounts and see if we can find during the month of Christmas, which is a difficult time to trade anyway, because everyone slows down, the markets and price action sort of slows down. Let's see if we can find a happy medium and sort of give us 5 years of experience of trading what I've got to setting up obviously the EE, and let that do what it needs to do for entries. But then as we move on, I will possibly be using the EE with the trial on what we do with FTMO to see if we can sort of bring in an element of manual trading with this to sort of see what we can do on these free demo challenges. Just something that is different, something that that's not been done on YouTube before. And again, a little bit of a taboo area on things like that. 8 years will never get you through these funded challenges and things like that. But I just thought I would throw together a cat amongst the pigeons, if that makes sense. So again, just looking back on where we're at, we're now below what we started at. It's coming below. And again, I'm not here to be perfect. It's never the intention. I'm here to be resourceful. I'm here to be a content creator with regards to the Forex trading. And if something is giving anybody a light bulb moment or anything else, or the same value in anything that I do, you just need to smash that like button and subscribe, to be fair. From there, guys, we are going to have my nice cup of tea, half-time cup of tea, and I'll be back on here whenever there's maybe a couple of other trades opened up, and we'll see how the EE is reacting to the parameters we've set. Okay, guys, so I'll be back in a little bit. Hi guys, so we're back once again. We're having an update. We're in some nice bit of profit at the moment. Remember, the one on the left, we've got a trailing stop activated on this, so 15 pips. And it looks to me as if this has got a stop loss just above the entry point now. So if it reverses down, the trailing stop loss becomes active. So this could be the way forward with testing this. Obviously, on the right, we've got a plain and simple entry system. Both have the steps and the grids to where I wanted to risk based upon the account. No more than a risk of on an open trade of 0.5. However, we go in increments of 0.02 on each open trade, if that makes sense. So we start at 0.10, okay? If another trade opens up on that same pair, it goes to 0.12, then 0.14, 0.16, and it keeps the risk minimal based upon the huge demo account of 102. Again, this is where we started, 102,201 and 10. We are in equity of 102,213. Again, might not look much, just a few quid worth of profit, but we're not in this to test, to try and sort of push it as the next best thing. We are here to try and use a controlled situation, a controlled experiment to see if we can make what between $50 to $100 a day using an 8 year. Now you can't always, and I'll stress this again, I'll do this every time I mention this, you cannot just put everything on an 8 year expert advisor and trust that it's going to get you to where you want to be with things. There is always going to be an element of controllability and an element of manual side of it. Hence why I've gone the right, just the straightforward bang, that's what it is, let it play away, to putting in manual side of this where we can put a trail and stop loss. But not only that, if I'm happy with what I see when a profit, like on here, if we head towards 50 or 100 dollars in profits, that's the experiment done for the day. So I would just close that out. However, on both sides of the fence here, as you've seen on my earlier videos on the cutscenes, I've got the GPP odd. Once this hits $50 of profit, it's going to close out the trade altogether for the day. I'm going to be interested to see if that actually works on this. And then we've got in the Euro USD, I've got a total amount of profit of $100. At the minute we're sitting on around about 13. So I presume if this was to reverse on us and hit the stop loss, it may only be a couple of pounds English money or a couple of dollars American money to be in profit. But I'll be interested to see what happens once we come back down and hit the buy grid. Will it enter us back into a trade? Or I mean, it says buy, so I presume it's going to trigger off another buy from that point, and then obviously having that 15 pip trail and stop is possibly a way forward. Now, as I come towards the end of this little segment, we're now going into a bit of drawdown on the GPP odd. Just put that in the middle there. We're coming down in the grid, so we'll see where the buy is. We're coming down. I suppose if we come in and break structure on here, it's then going to go into a sell stop. But then a sell stop, once it comes down, it's going to trigger onto a buy limit. So will that actually close out the sell stop to open up a buy limit? We'll have to wait and see. Again, I do these things so you guys don't have to. I do believe that some people are going to take a vested interest in this, to be fair. Again, I'm not doing this to trade and do things live on these. These is just simply because we're going into the month of December and the markets will slow down. So I'm just creating some content to see if we can add a little element of fun, but at the same time, see we can learn something from using an 8 year to having an aspect of manual trading. So I hope you're enjoying the video and the content at the moment. There's going to be more of these to come. I'm possibly going to only do these, if I'm honest with you, on a Monday, Tuesday and Wednesday. Moving forward, my own trading, in all honesty, once I go into 2022, that's going to be on my trading plan at least. I'm only going to be trading Monday, Tuesdays and Wednesdays. I'm not going to be trading Thursdays and Fridays. Only want to trade 3 days a week and take a little bit out of the markets as we go along. Okay, more of my game plan and strategy on what I'm going to be doing into 2022 as the month goes on in December, and most certainly the start of January. Okay, so again, please comment, like, share, engage. Let me know what you think, and hit that join button and support the channel for the price of a cup of coffee. I'll see you in a bit. We've now got, let's see, 1, 2, 3 hours of trading left. Let's see what this produces. I know the markets are slow as we're coming into December, but again, if it's profitable, it's profitable. We just mark on what it's done and we take it to the next year. So I'll be back in a second, guys. We'll see. I'm very interested in how this reacts. Okay, very interested in how this trail and stop reacts. Okay, so we'll be back in the next half hour or so. We'll see where we are. One quick share I'm going to do, you guys. I'm just going to expand this. Now, this red line is that trail and stop loss. Not massive, but again, if this was to come down and close out, Again, this is a baseline test. It would close out at 40 cents American money, or 40 pence. I would say it's about 30 pence in English money. So again, this is not live trading. This is just me doing an aspect of trading with an ETA, trying to make it controlled. Can you be profitable with it? Again, you've seen the picture of what I'm doing on my laptop. I have to use this ETA on my laptop because I can't use it on VPS on the Mac. I like trading on my Mac via the Windows, to be fair. It's a bigger screen. I see more clear, to be honest. But again, I can see directly to my right, the screen on the money management info display on exactly where we're at, profit and loss wise. Also, where we are with the strategy info and control center. One touch click of a button, I can change anything at the click of one button. So I'm not having to go into loads of different parameters and reload things up. You can do everything at one touch of a button. Again, unfortunately, the one on the right, the GPP odd, we have started hitting some, not so much heavy drawdown, but we are starting to come back into the middle of the grid from where we first opened up. Okay, just move this here. We came into a buy just here. It's now fallen back into the middle of the grid. Again, I do these things so you guys don't have to. I do believe that it's going to sort of open the eyes of a few people and see just how bad or maybe how good this concept would be. But again, I'm trying to put in an element of a manual side of it as well. But for today, this is a baseline test. Okay, now I'll say that again. Today is a baseline test. I've got two windows. I've got one with a trailing stop, okay, and then I've got one on the other side, which is just a straightforward same lot size risk, okay, but I'm using the ETA as it's intended with regards to just letting it stay as it is. If that makes sense, it's like a set and forget feature, but I've put in the risk of lot sizes, okay? The one on the left, I've got in trailing stops with this as well. So again, once we get that baseline structure at the end of the video, I can always show you the display on the control center and the money management info, and we'll see what both sides see it from the Euro USD to the GPP odd. But then moving forward into the next few days, okay, especially more so into, let's say, next week, what I'm going to do, I'm going to be trading from the computer. And when we hit an element of profit within, like to say, if this GPP odd was in good profit, and instead of it being like 854 as it is now, 869, instead of it being in a negative there, if that was a positive, I would possibly try and close that out and bank it, and then let the ETA determine next entry. And then once we fluctuate between a certain price range, if I'm happy with the profit that it's currently displaying, I will try and possibly bank and close that out. And then I'll see what kind of structured approach we can have with that as well, and just to see if we can actually be profitable. Again, just to let you know, on the left hand side of Euro USD, we have got a $50 maximum on there. If that was to hit that, closes it out altogether. It leaves a GPP odd to play. The GPP odd, again, the parameters I've got on that is if that hits $100 profit, again, I think that'll struggle based upon using the ETA itself. But again, what my take on this at the moment and what I like about this is, even though it's an ETA and it's doing what it's doing, you do truly have full control on the ability of obviously your lot sizes, picking what lot sizes, entries and things like that are there. You can have when to close the thing out. So if it goes into too much drawdown, and when it comes to manual side of trading, you'll always have an area where you've got an exit where you get out of your strategy. Okay, so you'll always have that area where you can say, right, if I lose this, I'm out. Okay, and this is no different. The only thing is, this is just predetermining the entry levels from a grid aspect, from obviously maybe quarter points or whole numbers, because again, those areas have very high importance in all honesty. But yeah, for going into the month of December, we're having ourselves our baseline test, and then tomorrow we might have a little bit more say into what we're doing with regards to exiting. Okay, I think going forward tomorrow, we'll possibly still stay with the two pairs. To be fair, I may sort of put trailing stops on both of them, to be honest. So again, we've got a baseline of one with a trailing stop, one without. See where we are with the control management at the end on the money management display, see what's profitable and what hasn't been. But then tomorrow we do a baseline test with that more structured approach with regards to the same lot sizes. Okay, we'll not change the lot sizes, same risks and things like that. However, we will have that trailing stop it around about, I do believe we'll keep it at 15 pips. Okay, so I'm going to pause the video, and it's now coming on to 10 o'clock. We've got a couple of more hours left of trading. Again, we're not a massive profit. This is not what this experiment is about. Okay, it never is. We're trading from 100 grand demo account on FTMO. I'm keeping the lot sizes to a minimum. I could trade with heavier lot sizes, but I just want to keep what this video is intended for, and that is, what can you do with an ETA? Can you be profitable with it if you were to sort of bring in an element of the manual side? And I think overall, with regards to what we've got with the strategy and info control center, we've got a lot of control over what this ETA can do and what it can produce, even if we are not at the computer, if that makes sense. So again, we've got the targets and closeout areas set and things like that. So I am liking that, to be fair. So I'll pause the video. We'll be back very shortly. We're just under break even from what we started this morning, to be fair, just before we close this out. 102,201.10. We're about a dollar or so out of pocket. But again, that's what this is about. It's to experiment. We're not just throwing everything on the wall and just saying, trade this, trade this, trade this, trade this, trade this. Trying to find that little structured approach on a couple of pairs, see if you can take a little bit of money out of the markets on a daily basis. And that's what this is aimed for. Okay, so we'll be back in a short while, guys. Hi everyone, so we're coming up to, what time is it now? 10:25, where we stand at the moment. Again, we're in drawdown. This is a baseline test, as I say. We can move forward from this. At the moment, we are heading down towards the trailing stop loss on here. Price is moving very slow, to be fair. Again, we are heading into December. It's NFP week as well, so a lot of the movement going to be on the, most certainly, the Thursday and Friday. I don't really want to be using this on Thursday or Friday because, again, spikes and things like that. Although we might run it, because we can run a baseline test. We can run a baseline test throughout the week and record what's going on. But I'm certainly going to be implementing, let's see, I'm going to be implementing the trailing stop on both tomorrow. On top of that, I don't know whether I'll factor in a third currency pair, but also on the money management info display. Again, I'll show you these at the end. I do have the profit for the EU to be $50 and close out. I've got nothing set as a parameter for if there's a sort of drawdown, so I might factor that in as well, to be fair. I'll have a drawdown factor in with that. But again, as always, we've got 2 hours left of this. In hindsight, when I'm looking at this, maybe I should have picked 3 or 4 pairs, to be fair, having 2 pairs. But again, when we look at it from outside the box, whenever you're starting something, you start something on a baseline aspect from a minimal side. From there, you can work upon that. We did have some good profits on this at the start, the first half of the session. However, we're around about $7 down at the moment. Again, this is demo account, so there's nothing lost on this. This is just letting me sort of get to that level of the baseline, okay? And again, I was hoping we're going to get some movement within these grids, but we are still within the first grid, in all honesty, from entry. So we haven't had any spike. What I have noticed on this EE on the control center, obviously it's a one-touch control, so you can open them, you can open and close at any given time. Again, what you can do as well is there's a trend information on there, so you can pick whether you want to go against the trend for, let's say, if there's a retracement, or if you want to sort of trade with the trend. So again, that's going to be going into more advanced sort of stuff. But I'm enjoying putting this together, to be fair, simply because I've never really used an EE before. However, I mean, again, this is the closest sort of aspect I'm going to see towards implementing what you want to do on it, on these expert advisors, and giving you a little bit more control. But as next week comes into play, most certainly next week, not only will we have the parameters set from what we're doing on a baseline test this week, but I'm also going to be closing trades as and when I'm happy with the bits of profit that these are in. And I want to see how and when and how this affects the EE as it is, because obviously it's setting these grid areas from a predetermined sort of click of a button entry point. If I close something out on the EE when it's in profit, I presume when you close out all positions, you can restart the EE, if that makes sense. So it'll regrid everything up. So that's going to be interesting to do starting from next week. But as it is, this is the baseline test. We've got another, what, say 2.5 hours to go, and then we'll close it out. We'll have an end of session conclusion, and then I'll get ready to upload this to YouTube for a bit later. Okay, so we'll see you in a bit, guys. So it looks as if we're going to hit a new entry, a sell stop. Let's see what happens with this trade here, which is in quite a bit of drawdown, to be fair. Overall, we're in about $20 drawdown. I want to see what happens when we hit this. Is it going to close the other one out? Something we need to work towards and see what happens. And in all honesty as well, because we were in on a buy, it's not going to up the risk. There we are. So it's opened up another trade. Okay. So it's got to sell on this side. The buy is stayed open at the moment. Take a look. Excuse me. This will be interesting to see what happens with this. So we've now got three trades active. Three trades active, guys. And at the moment, we're in around about $20 a drawdown. Again, still early days, baseline test. Let's see what happens. We've got the other one coming down to the trailing stop loss as well. I do believe the trailing stop loss is the way forward with this. If this was to continue coming down from that sell point, okay, we would then trigger a buy limit on here when it comes down to here. I think I'm going to have to try and predetermine how big these areas are. If I'm honest with you, let's take a look again. You're looking nearly 60 pips between the second entries. The first one, okay, we're looking at around about 40 pips. So maybe if we factor this down to 30, bring this down to 30, bring the bigger ones down to maybe 40 or 50 with regards to channels, it's something we can work upon. My info display at the moment Again, the trend on the GPP odd on the Heikin-Ashi, the 15-minute has now changed to a downtrend, which on the Heikin-Ashi, it's a trend candle. The 30-minute and the 1 hour is still shown as an up. In fact, the trend on the 15-minute, it's shown as flat. So there's three elements to this. The element of red for down, green for up, and when it's sort of 50-50, it is orange. So at the minute, it's orange. So that is sort of predetermined, in all honesty, because obviously to the trained eye, because I've been trading for around about 5 years, this is coming back to 50% of this area. Okay, so that 50% of this initial push is sort of flattening out, or evening the keel with regards to the buyers to the sellers, if that makes sense. So that gives me the understanding on why that's orange. Okay, so again, it's the first day I've used this here in the control center on this, but I can understand the parameters and the concept of what it's showing me on the display, which is a good thing from what I've learned over the years, if that makes sense. From there, where we are in around $18 of drawdown, a couple of hours left. Just looking at the control center to see if anything else has changed. Nothing as such, to be fair. Again, going into next week, we might give this a try on 3 pairs. Okay, we might give this a try on 3 pairs, up the game a bit, but we will also factor in these trailing stop losses. I'm going to bring in tighter sort of grids as well. But again, going from yesterday to what we are doing today, we went from a basic entry of what the grid is about, from the ETA itself. We've gone to the pro version on this. So the pro version of that grid is giving you a lot more controllability with regards to your money management info display. So it's letting you factor in what you need to do, but it's giving you the display on the screen like I showed you earlier. It's got 1-click button system to get you in and out. You can open and close trades at your own discretion on there as well, but it's also giving you a trend directional bias on the trend information, which is good. And yeah, to be fair, even though we're in drawdown on here, I am slightly impressed with what this does provide you with, to be fair. At the moment, if I was to give you a bias on what I'm thinking on this, I possibly do honestly believe if you get the right parameters just correct for yourself, because you've got the trend information and that there, maybe you could use this to a certain extent and sort of trade and be profitable with it. I don't think it's there to take longer term trades, most certainly. I think it can be used to scalp and bank bits of profit on the aspect of the tools and what they do and things like that. But again, yeah, I am slightly impressed with it, to be fair. But we'll see what happens towards the 12 o'clock time. Will we be in profit? Possibly not. But again, at least we are getting a grounded baseline entity of what's happening. Again, from what's happening at the moment and what I'm seeing, we need to bring in tighter zones for sure. But also certainly from the other aspect, the trailing stop is certainly coming in. So I've taken down notes as we move along on this. And yeah, so far we've got positives and we've got negatives with this. But again, you've got to go through the struggle. You've got to go through the baseline testing and having the heartache on getting these drawdowns and things like that to be able to predetermine what your next move is going to be, to fine tune and tweak what it is we're doing with this. Okay, so again, hopefully when I get this video up, I can interlink the videos I've done from my phone and edit it where it needs to be edited, and it comes through. Okay, guys. Okay, so I hope you're enjoying this. As the days go on, and more certainly as we go into next week, I do believe there's going to be some profits to come from this, most certainly, once we start getting that fine line between the profit to loss and then being able to bank it. Because once I bank those pips, I've got the control center, I can say, right, reset the 8-year grid, restart the 8-year grid, and then it's going to go bang. It's going to, and from what I can see without doing it now, when I do that and I've banked the pips I'm happy with, we can then possibly set off a new 8-year grid, and then it's going to trade from there. And again, this may not always be about having to go bang, bang, bang all the way through the grids to get all the pips. I do believe, and the proof's in the testing, you know what I mean? So I do believe you can possibly just use the first 1 or 2 zones, bank and scale yourself up with the profits from there, end the 8-year on the grid aspect, what's on there at the moment, but then restart it and have the entries and stops and things like that, the trailing stops, and then have it set as a new one and bank and scalp your pips like that. That's going to be the aim for this. That's going to be the goal. But again, we need to fine tune this. We need to get, obviously, them zonal points set up properly, and then we'll take it from there. And it's going to be an enjoyable experience. And this will be going on through the month of December as well. Okay, so I'm going to pause the video. We'll be back in the next hour or two. So we're now on the last hour. The last hour, guys. What I have noticed is we're about $20 drawdown. But again, this is a baseline test. The SL, the trailing stop loss, has moved into $6.60 in profit. So that is a big green tick for us. What we're going to be doing is definitely having a trailing stop loss of 15 pips, I do believe, on these. That is definitely on the to-do list. This went into profit. It was quite a bit in profit, to be fair, but then it did a trailing stop loss of around about 40 cents or 30 odd English money. But then as it's went up, the trailing stop loss has gone with it. So that's a big, big plus with this. On the other side of the fence, just as the baseline without anything on here, a takeaway on this, and what I'm going to be implementing on both sides, to be honest, is the zones. I need to bring tighter sort of trading zones into play. From there, trailing stop loss most certainly on everything. Again, maybe tomorrow I will up the game to 3 pairs. So tomorrow we're going to be sort of doing 3 pairs. In fact, I tell you what I'll do. When it gets to 12 o'clock, we'll have an end of session conclusion, and I'll tell you what we're going to be doing moving forward going into tomorrow. But I'm sort of warming to sort of this sort of concept, because my dashboard, I've got full control on this. I can see what's going on. I can certainly tell now that on the GPP odd, what we've got is the 15-minute hike, and actually is certainly showing it as a down at the moment. A downtrend, it's on red. The 1 hour and the 30-minute is still showing us up. So we may just be in a slight retracement on that lower time frame, if that makes sense. And that would make sense going on this, because we are on it up, okay? Fractal time-wise, every four candles is an hour, okay? So fractal-wise, 15-minute breakdowns, again, that will tell us that we are in a retracement. So yeah, it's very, very spot on with regards to what I'm seeing on the strategy info and control center to what it's displaying on the screen. So it's just sort of giving you an extra sort of element of confluence. So not only are you having to factor or sort of guess what's going on by the naked chart, the control center, which is what you've seen at the beginning of the video, it does actually give you quite a bit of information on there as well, to be fair. So yeah, I mean, it's so good so far with it. Again, might try and sort of up the game with this, to be fair, with regards to a lot size used as well. The GPP odd, again, what I might factor in going into tomorrow is, because we've got a target close when all in profit. I've got the GBP odd set as $100 and the Euro USD at $50. Okay, so I think tomorrow what I might do is I might factor in a total loss to close on the pairs as well. I might put a total of $50 loss, and then have the sort of profit close out at $100. So we need to factor in obviously the trailing stops. We need to factor in what we're going to close out if a trade goes against us, but also we need to factor in tighter zones, if that makes sense. We've got another 55 minutes at the moment, so let's see where we are once we get to there. I don't think we'll be entering any other zones and any other trades going on the basis on what's been happening. I mean, we've hit quite a consolidated phase on the Euro USD. We've had a bit of a sort of upward movement on the GBP odd, but we've hit the retracement. When we first got into this, we got the entry more or less straight away, okay, on the buy. But then after that buy, the 15-minute candles started hitting the retracement area, which is exactly what it's showing me on here. Albeit now the 15-minute hike and actually is now turned orange, and that would tell me why that is. It's just simply because we've had the retracement area. It's in an order block at the moment, and now the candle on the new 15-minute is trying to push up, and that's what this is doing right here. So we might see a little bit of a return in price on here, and we'll see where we are in the next 15-minute, guys, for an end of session conclusion. It's been a good session for so far this year. We'll see you in a bit. Right, so hopefully if I have edited this correctly, and I'm swapping from what you're seeing here to my phone, I'm going to take it over to my phone just now and see if I can edit and patch this into what we're doing at the moment. I'm just going to explain a little something on this, so just bear with me and I'll explain a bit more on my phone. Right, guys, we've swapped over to my phone. Now I just want to take your attention to this, okay? So the GBP odds, the Euro USD is closed out now because it's hit the trailing stop loss. We're still in drawdown of around about $30, so we're in a buy and a sell at the moment on this. So I just want to take your attention to this here. We're being up, retracement, up, so it's an uptrend. We're now coming down on a retracement, okay? We were around about halfway down, and I'm just going to show you the sort of trend information on the control panel. You can see we're just about to come to a liquidity area, but not only that, this is going to sort of break structure. And what you'll see on here, okay, in the control center is on the trend information, the 15 minutes, okay, the candles are fractal. So the 15 minutes, you can certainly see the trend is certainly coming to a downturn, okay? But more importantly, every 15 minutes, so every 2 candles, we then go into the half-hour time frame. So as that's coming down to sort of get into a break of structure on the liquidity side, you can see here the trend information. It's telling us that this is based on the Heikin-Ashi status. The 15-minute trend is down, and then the half-hour trend is certainly down. The hour trend is still holding structure to the upside. Okay, so every 4 candles equates to an hour, and that'll tell us that it's still on the uptrend on the hour. However, excuse me, the downturn or the downtrend is shown in favor of the 15-minute and the half hour on the trend information. So this isn't just an ETA, it's giving you a plethora of information. So on here you're going to see you can open and you can open a buy or a sell on a parameter that you set on a sort of lot size. Okay, that's what this button here is for. These buttons here, you can do that manually. It's giving you a key on the top of here what each thing means. On the top, Heikin-Ashi status. Heikin-Ashi candles, again, guys, are just trend situated candles. This is where we primarily sit at the moment on the 15, the 30. We're both on a downtrend. On the Heiken Ashi status, it's telling us that price is starting to favor a downturn. Okay, and if we look back on there, it's certainly on the liquidity area from the last retraceable area. So that'll bring in conjunction of what that is. The up is for the 1 hour though, okay? And then underneath, you've got delete all pennants, delete all sells, or open all buys and things like that. Start the E here off, hold the E here. And at this time, obviously that there is paired up with what we're seeing here. And yeah, we're in $30 drawdown. Overall, we are in the drawdown, as you can see. But in essence, I'm liking what I'm seeing with this. We're just tweaking and fine-tuning everything, to be fair, okay? So I'm going to head you back over to the main screen. And yes, I'll see you on the bigger screen. So you've probably seen a little rundown of the money management side and the strategy control center. I am liking that. This is still the very first time I've used this, but I'm loving the fact that this isn't just lines on a screen. Okay, this is what you've just seen on the phone. The reason why I can't get that control center on my screen, what you're seeing on here with my handsome Geordie face, is the fact that that will not work on the VPS on parallels with a Mac. Has to be done via a laptop or a Windows-based computer. But again, I do have 3 or 4 screens in front of me, so I just have my laptop set up with my MT4, but then I just log into an MT4 on my Mac, and whatever is being set up on there, I can see on the main screen, albeit we've got the zones. I can still see the control center on the screen to my right-hand side. So we are entering the final 15 minutes. What I'm going to do, I'm probably going to close this out in a second, okay? I'm going to close this out in a second. Excuse me, just going to go onto what we call the conclusion, okay? The conclusion side. So day one, we set up a YouTube video on aspect of, and I forget what I call them. I'm in the middle of uploading this at the moment. We set up a YouTube video on trading Forex with an expert advisor. Can you make profit? Now, that's what I call the very first video in this series. Trading Forex with an expert advisor, can you make profit? That very first video was based upon the ETA called the Grid that was brought to my attention by one of the guys in the group here. And again, I've used it in the past, but nothing on a live account. And it was, to a certain extent, good. From there, I set up an Excel sheet and a spreadsheet, which, again, if we just go on to the share screen, let's share the screen. I set up an Excel sheet, okay? Let's have a look. The Excel sheet is here. Grid expert. And I was going to use certain parameters and targets and things like that. And these were the pairs I was going to trade. And this was this. Yesterday, it took $26 of profit based upon the normal version of the Grid ETA, okay? This was going to be my parameters when I was going to trade. However, there's a lot of news in the evening and afternoon of NFP this week. So I only traded in the morning. In the afternoon, there was no trading, no trades. So there was no trades taken on that day. I haven't traded on that. So I haven't got into a day 2 as such, okay? Because I came across what was this here, which was it's the advanced version of the Grid, okay? It's the advanced version of the Grid ETA. Again, parameter wise, I am going to sort of document what I'm doing with this. That's the whole purpose of this. but I'm not going to use the normal grid one. I'm going to use the more advanced one where I've got control over the strategy info and control center, money management, and I can put these trail and stop losses in there. Okay. From there, guys, I just stop a share. From there, guys, that's what this is all about. This is about a process of trading Forex with an ETA. Can you be profitable? And again, this is not for me to say that you need to use ETAs. This is me being who I am. I'm a real, raw, honest person. I would never use an ETA to trade full time. But can you be profitable with an ETA if you were to have control over certain parameters of those trades and be able to control things at the click of a button rather than rely on this is what this is what this is, hits this, it starts, hits this, it ends. You need to be in control of the whole concept from the minute you start the trade to the progression of the trade to the downturn of a trade, okay, but also the profit of a trade. And again, going back on what I've been doing, we've got the money management side. We had the Euro USD. We started that off with a $50 profit. And then we were, no, that was a GPP odd, sorry. The GPP odd was a $50 profit. Then it would close itself out. But we didn't have a loss or a drawdown element on that either. It was just a profit area. And that was the basic level. The Euro USD, however, we had set at $100. We had a trailing stop loss of 15 pips. That came back and it's banked some profit based upon the 15 pip stop loss. So I'm going to implement that tomorrow, most certainly. And again, we're just going to share the screen one last time before I close everything off on this. So at the moment, we're about $30 down. So what I'm going to do, excuse me, baseline test. I'm happy with what we've done with the baseline test. It's let me get to grips with what the advanced version is. I'm going to now close this out and then let's have a look. Can I just close all in chart? Close all in chart. Let's just see if it does that for us. Confirm that you want to close all the charts. Cancel. Next one, close. 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 So that's everything closed off, and you've probably seen that close off one here. We have closed in a little bit of drawdown, and you'll see all these getting closed off as we go down. There's quite a few on there. I'm going to sort of stop the auto trading on that side, and that's it, guys, for this session. What I'm going to do off camera, just stop the share. What I'm going to do off camera is possibly have a little bit of play around with this as well, see if I can fine tune a few things. We are going to be heading into news shortly, and I'll fine tune a few things for my own sort of documentation, and then I can implement that. Well, that's it for the session on this today, going into the advanced ETA. Over the parameters and overall. Again, please don't ask us where you get this from. I'm not here to promote it. I'm not here to get an affiliation from it. I'm just doing something from here on in because the month of December is a slow month for trading. So why not go on the other side of the fence and sort of put to the forefront the stuff that, in my opinion, you really shouldn't trade within a year. But can you be profitable with it? And I'm going to do my hardest to see if you can be. Okay, so if you like what I'm showing you here, drop your comment below, engage. If you want to get access to what we have on the Discord for the price of a cup of coffee a day, hit the join button, and then we'll get you inside of there. Reach out to me. We've got nearly just under 400 people in here now, and they're all helping each other. Again, it's a safe place. It's a safe place in there. There's no big membership fees on there. It's just for the price of a cup of coffee and maybe the odd small donation to keep the upkeep of the Discord channel hosted, with all the great videos that are in there. And I'll continue to do these contents. Going into 2022, I'm going to be looking to obviously downscale my trading, if that makes sense. I'm not going to be trading every day. I only want to be trading Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday at most. I've got a plan, procedure, and strategy in place for that. Strategy that's been working well for me. From there, what we'll be doing on these sessions, I'm going to trade this throughout the NFP week. So it's a very hard month to trade anyway. But again, this is going to stretch what this EE is about. However, we've got a few boxes ticked now where we need to do what we need to do moving forward. One is certainly the trail and stop. The second one is I'm going to bring the zones in from when the trade activated. I'm going to step it up from possibly 2 pairs to trading 3 pairs. Okay. And then obviously we'll have our close when the pairs have made an X amount of money in profit, but we'll also have a drawdown feature in there. So when there is a total loss to close, we'll have to factor that in as well. And then that'll give us some form of risk to reward. Okay. So now the job is, if you're seeing this video, obviously I've edited it right. I've got a lot of editing and producing to do on this because we're going to be skipping from one video of the Mac and what it's doing on screen to jump into the videos that I've done on my phone as well. Okay, so I'm going to have fun putting that together. Again, thank you for everybody that watches and engages and sort of helps with what we do on the Discord. It's fantastic, but this is something new, something that I wasn't really going to do, but I thought, yeah, no, December can be a bit quiet. Let's sort of mix it up a bit. Let's see what we can do and what we can create content-wise. So hopefully it does strike a chord with a few views. I'm going to be doing a session tomorrow. I don't know what time I'm starting it. It might be around about 8:30, 9 o'clock again. And we'll run it through again till 12 o'clock. So we'll be switching things up a bit with regards to the 3 pairs, having some newer parameters in there with trailing stops and also the zones what's going to trade from. Let's see what the EE can produce tomorrow. Okay, guys? So I'll speak to you tomorrow. See you later.